Hey everybody, welcome to the Late Late Horror Show, Redrum episode 2.
Number 2.
And we got Bloodstone Subspecies 2 from 1993. Another Ted Nicolau movie.
Full Moon.
Director.
Full Moon.
Director.
Yeah, Ted Nicolau.
And written by Charles Band. From Ted Nicolau's idea, like just to probably brung it up or something and said, this is a cool idea. And with that, Charles Band went ahead and wrote.
That's what he does, man. He does
Subspecies.
he does like the old school guys used to, like Hammer used to do. Someone would come up with an
Brainstorm,
idea. And then you'd go for your appointment to talk about the story. They already got a mock-up poster hanging up on the wall.
Right.
That was.
That's cool.
That's how they did it. That's how.
But this,
Castle Freak happened.
Right.
Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, another idea.
Which we did a commentary on. Mm-hmm. Stuart Gordon wanted to do an H.P. Lovecraft movie. He goes to talk to Charles Band. There's a poster hanging up with some creature chained up, and it's called Castle Freak. And he's like, what's that? He's like, that's just an idea I have. You can make it if you want. You can tie it into your story. You just got to call it Castle Freak.
Isn't it funny how they come up with these stories and films from these ideas? But we've done, like I said, we've done quite a few Full Moon, Charles Band, Ted Nicolau.
We kind of sort of did Subspecies one a long time ago.
Yeah,
it was a botched commentary.
Yeah, it was one where we left the microphone off and we just screwed it and we never went ahead and did another show about it. But that movie kind of continues right into the second, and the second into the third. It's kind of, goes on and on. And,
there is a fourth. I'm not a huge fan of the fourth one.
Yeah.
It's fine, but the third one, if you get to it, or if we get to it,
right.
Really does. It ends it pretty well. So I'm cool with just leaving it right there. So
and the main thing with this movie, what sets it apart is, it's a different take on the vampire. Give it to Full Moon and Charles Band, and for how they come up with their ideas for movies. But the whole Bloodstone thing, which we talked about a heck of a lot in the first film. The first film was just full of drool. Okay, Ted was just disgusted. I mean,
Radu's drool, man.
I was too. Radu, the main vampire, which it was basically Radu and his brother Stefan, who were brothers.
Who doesn't drool?
And Stefan was the good guy. Radu wants all the power, and basically in this movie, kind of sways a little bit more towards he's looking for an everlasting kind of love, companionship. With Michelle.
Right, because she got turned into a vampire at the end. She was in love with Stefan.
Yes.
And that's how that ends. They're in their coffins. And this film starts with Radu, the little subspecies characters, kind of reattaching his head.
Very
some cool effects. And
it's a shame that that's the only place that they were is the very beginning of the movie, because I love those little things in the first movie.
Awesome little stop motion.
This one's a little bit more dramatic in its presentation. So, but doesn't take away from it. I love the movie. I'm taking this one at a time. I've seen one. Now I've seen two. I didn't watch three yet. I figure we'll go ahead and...
Yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger. You gotta know what happens.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this totally ends on a cliffhanger. And it's just kind of a short kind of movie. Like an hour 23, something like that.
Yeah, they were filmed back to back.
Yeah.
They made them both because they're all the same location.
But anyways, I interrupted.
Radu stakes when he wakes up. Stefan hasn't woken up yet. He stakes Stefan.
And he's got the rune.
And he's holding the Bloodstone, but he doesn't take it because the sun starts coming up and he's got to get to his crypt.
Yeah.
The sun goes down. Michelle wakes up first, sees, unfortunately, Stefan, her love, has been staked, but takes the Bloodstone.
Turns to dust.
And flees.
Yes, Michelle.
With the Bloodstone. Not really knowing, I don't think, 100% what she's got.
Who has got... Her blood is mixed with Radu's blood. Because she ends up being... Well, she's kind of his fledgling.
Right, because he created her.
Right.
He turned her.
So this movie, part 2, the Bloodstone, is all about his fledgling kind of transforming from beginning to end, kind of. And
she's got a little bit of him in her, I mean, and she's constantly.
She is very, very cute. I like
Denise Duff.
Yeah,
taking over from forgive me, I forget her name, but the previous actress who played Michelle.
Yeah, so a different actor playing Michelle in this movie, and not that there was really anything wrong with her from the. I think she was cute from the first one. She just had shorter hair and stuff like this. This one, she looks very like 80s goth, like, you know, because she goes to. I'm jumping around here real quick again, like I always do.
Goes
you guys.
to the goth club.
Goes to the goth club, but she ends up going to that. Is it like
it's a
opera house theater?
Yeah, opera house, exactly.
And they've got all kinds of clothing and stuff like that. And she ends up using the. I know. Again, we're jumping around. We're making these shorter for you guys, okay?
Right.
So they're not long commentaries.
Yeah, because we got so many hits last week.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But right. Hey, we might go back to some commentaries. We'll see. But
something's worthy.
Yeah. But nevertheless, they're. She goes into this theater and sneaks in with, you know, barefoot and all this stuff because she was getting away from Radu.
Clothes.
Because Radu's kind of following her through the center of Bucharest.
Because this was actually filmed on location in Romania, which really, the first one, second one, third one to follow, all of them were filmed in Romania.
Yeah.
I think it was the first American film to be filmed in Romania.
Authentic vampire movies in Romania.
But, I mean, because this is where that stuff happened.
Right.
You know, in the books and all that. Yeah. And it just lends so much realism. You know, unfortunately, Full Moon doesn't make films like this anymore. And evidently, there is a script for a final Subspecies movie.
Really?
As I was watching some of the extras on the Blu-ray, and I've, you know, Denise Duff or whatever, you know, was interviewed, just like, it's fantastic. I really want to do it, but it's just the money to go there.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, to take it to Romania again.
They want to do it there again. You know, it's where it's got to be done.
It makes sense. I mean, that's what made that so good was the atmosphere and the location that they filmed all of these movies in. Especially in the first one. I mean, it was that was like way out there, you know, in the boondocks kind of Romania, and the center
castles.
The second one, the rundowns, you know, Radu's castle and stuff like that, which they do show a bit in this movie too, but it mostly focused on the city of Bucharest and you know, her reaching out to her sister Megan, who's another one. Again, I'll go back to Michelle, who there's a shower scene where she goes into the Bucharest hotel and calls her sister from a payphone, and she's taking a shower up there, full bush, everything, you know, full frontal. And you can see it nice and trimmed at the top, and it's nice. You know, I took a close look. But anyways, very cute. But calls her sister up, so Megan, she's going to jump on a plane and come help her out.
Right.
But in the meantime, she's turning into a vampire, and she's getting these needs and urges, which she's fighting.
Yes, the whole film, and the next one too.
Really? Okay. Thanks for spoiling it.
If it wasn't obvious.
No, I know.
But story-wise, I think she has to, you know, with the sun coming up, she has to sleep in the bathroom, in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And correct me. They mistake her for being dead, right?
Oh yeah. Because
like with the cleaning ladies.
Come in. They're, you know, doing their thing. She turns on the TV. I don't know, they're going to watch while they clean and stuff. Goes into the bathroom.
They probably put on the same channel. And
goes into the bathroom and just flushes the toilet. I guess that's their way of cleaning.
Well, maybe they.
I'm not going to wipe
flush
anything
it before
down.
They open it up. Would that be the
could
open
be.
It up? Oh God!
Could be, but she turns on the water, goes over to the thing, pulls it open.
You're probably right.
And Michelle's laying in the bathtub, and she's kind of grayish, you know, starts getting pale and stuff like that. So they think she's dead. She's dead. You know what I mean? So you know, they call the police.
And she's got no pulse because her body's dead.
So they put her in a body bag, and you know, she's in the ambulance to be taken away, and she wakes up in the middle of as the ambulance is taking her.
Yes.
This jumps back and forth because a lot of what they did with these films was I don't know if it had to do with lighting, budget constraints, and stuff like that. You know, everything was. A lot of Hammer did this too.
What's that?
You know, a lot of filming when it's still daytime out,
okay.
and you're supposed to
shooting.
Yeah, you're supposed to think it's nighttime when. Although there are some nighttime shots.
Yeah.
But she's jumping from dusk dawn, you know, waking up, going down. So anyway, she wakes up into the ambulance.
It's funny you notice those things. When I'm watching a film, even if it's a Hammer film or a film like this, and you know I'm into the story, I never notice those things.
Really? Okay.
And you know it's fun when we do the show and you'll bring up some of those things. But
yeah. Really, I didn't notice.
You know, when I'm really into the story, I'm focused intently on the story, and those things just I don't
doing these reviews, I enjoy the movies, but I do dissect them a little bit more because I'm looking around and what am I going to catch out of the corner of my eye.
And I never, I'm kind of like straight story.
Yeah. Which is fine, you know what I mean?
But,
so
it's just the the difference. You notice those things, and I'm like, damn, I didn't notice that. Even though I know they're there, because I know, but maybe my brain chooses not to focus on because it'll bug me.
No, it could be because you've said that plenty of times in the past. Don't ruin that for me. Now I'm going to think of that every time I've seen it. But it's just those little things, you can, and it doesn't just take away from the movie or nothing like that. I mean, they're again, these movies are great. I mean, there's a lot of great vampire movies out there, but if you want something different, in that full moon kind of early 90s
back when they were
kind of
great.
Yeah, that they made some good movies back then.
Fantastic quality films.
Yeah. So
I rented those 3. I have them on Blu-ray now, but that and like the first 3 I said it a million times. The first 3 Puppet Master movies, I just rented those all. If there was nothing else to rent, I'd just rent a couple of those.
Yeah, no.
Go look for a movie, nothing to do on a Friday night or something like that. Nobody's doing anything.
Right.
Nothing to rent. All right, I'll get Subspecies 1 and 2 at least or something. I 2 was my favorite out of all of them.
Well, the funny thing is that I'm just hitting the Subspecies now, and I mean, I watched the first one a year ago, and the second one I just watched last night. So now I definitely going to have to get to the third. So that's going to be an upcoming movie here soon, but so I can get through some of these. But yeah, I think an interesting part of this part 2 was the introduction to Radu's mother.
Yes, the sorceress.
Who he says, the sorceress, who's a vampire. She's a vampire too, but he goes, "Mummy,"
and that's what she looks. She looks like a desiccated, mummified corpse.
Right, like she's like so old and just hasn't even bothered to go out and like feed.
Yep, she just lives.
And just
I don't even know if
decays.
She's just lives in the tunnels underneath the like a mausoleum in the cemetery. And
I mean, they don't really specify if although she licks a little bit of the
I don't know if she
blood off of the sword. I mean, the little dagger. I mean,
yep.
That's had the blood of her Radu's father, her wife. But she's like, But yeah, I didn't quite get if she was. I mean, I'm figuring she's a vampire, right?
They refer to her as a sorceress in the film, so I don't know if she is 100% a vampire.
So supernatural, whatever,
Mommy.
But very cool character, and she's what really spins this off into kind of being very interesting towards the middle end there when she's introduced, as her character. I mean. Again, just the way she acts and she's in control. And she wants to just get rid of Michelle, but he's like, this is my fledgling,
Right. And they have a connection. That's, and maybe that's...
We've blended blood.
Right, and maybe that makes a difference from the first film, and that, now he's, and maybe that's how it is when you sire someone, you have a bond.
Right.
They have a psychic bond, they
Lestat,
a physical
Claudia,
bond,
if you know the Anne Rice, the Vampire Chronicles.
So I guess that kind of makes sense in that way. They've got that connection, and that's just the development of his character. That maybe he does long for something when you've lived those decades and centuries.
Oh, yeah.
You
I want to
long for some emotion.
And he talks like that. I want to finally have that love.
Right. Well, he's
Mummy.
And just speaking of Radu, I mean, I think even in this film, his makeup is much more improved. They, maybe a little bit more money. Yeah. The makeup is better, whereas I
didn't notice that.
I just his makeup looks different.
But I'll take
more
your word.
prosthetics on his face that makes him look a little bit more bumpy.
And that's another thing. The cool hands, the prosthetics of the hands.
They used gloves this time, which looked really good. Whereas last time he had little individual things on his fingers.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Which was very Nosferatu-ish from the early silent film.
Right. That's kind of the look they were going for there. That's it's just a great movie, yeah. And
then like the rest of the film is almost like a detective story. Her sister arrives, can't find Michelle anywhere.
And we're introduced by two little characters. One is Mel, who's
So he works for like the consulate, right? The
American
consulate?
the U.S. Embassy.
Embassy.
And whoever the Lieutenant Marin.
Sort of like a bungling police officer.
Yeah, not like Clouseau.
Not that bungling.
Yeah.
But
you know, they're wondering if she stole this like bloodstone because it looks kind of like this big jewel type thing.
Right, they find it in her belongings, and you know, this looks very valuable. You know, Marin is convinced that, you know, this is some kind of a robbery, you know, transaction gone wrong.
Yeah.
And it takes a little while for him to come around.
Yeah.
Mel, the embassy guy, he knows a professor, I think, Popescu or something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
They go see him, who's an authority on vampires and the Bloodstone,
and he ends up taking them back to Radu's castle.
Right, that doesn't last very long.
No,
he gets killed.
Yeah, I mean, those are the 3 bit characters that don't last very long and have very bit parts in here, other than Mel, who becomes kind of like a small love interest to Megan, but even that part is kind of overshadowed by... This is basically the Radu and Michelle movie, you know.
A lot of it's
a little bit of,
on her own, dealing with the urges. She, you know, like you had mentioned, wanders into like sort of like a Romanian goth rock club, and picks up a guy, and you know,
turns her back on him the first time, but the second time
goes back for him. And
goes back for him when the urge is stronger and
gets a little blood from him. You know, like,
and when she was coming back that second time,
what, blood dripping down?
No, that low. Oh,
she's beautiful. When we did our full moon one, she was my pick for favorite full moon girl.
See, again, I've
tied with Charlie Spradling probably, but
see, I would this one so far. Yeah, Michelle, she's. But
those are my 2 favorites.
Yeah. But yes. So, you know, basically, I mean, it's a short movie to sum up. I mean, pretty much, because it's going to lead into part 3, you know, which continues. You could basically have 2.
Confused. This one didn't have the military guy in it, did it?
No.
Okay, that'll be part 3.
Okay.
All right. So, because they're going to have to kind of like raid the castle, you know, to get, you know, Michelle and Radu, and so there'll be a.
Well, basically, to sum up the ending of this movie, because, I mean, basically that is the sum total of the movie. And, again, throughout, it's very moody, atmospheric, and not a lot of lines because you don't need it. You know, Michelle doesn't... I forget the actress.
Radu is, when he travels... The great shadow that flies over, which I think was in the first one as well, those long shadows.
Yeah.
But this takes it a little bit further from flying from the castle to Bucharest.
Right.
And,
very good shadow imagery, you know what I mean?
You see it flying, you see it all through the town, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really neat.
No, very, very, very cool.
But, like Michelle and Megan, they you know, find each other, and...
Megan's all... I mean, she knows she's a vampire, and she's trying to help her sister the best she can, and they do end up going once Radu... Well, no, she brings Mel, the love interest, with her towards the end of the film to get... basically to stake Radu, because she gets the stake, and
he's down in that mausoleum in the tunnels where the mummy is, right?
Right, yeah. And they're both laying together, so you know, they both enter, and they're like, you know, she sees that her sister's on there too, and they're both vampires. I think Mel said, thinking that he's going to have to kill both of them, but you know, he does go and stake Radu.
Is it through the eye though? Isn't it, or is it in the heart? Or
no,
he gets stabbed in the eye. No, Michelle does that.
No. Mel was going to get Radu, but the mummy comes up behind him and stabs him and kills Mel. So there goes that love interest. But,
Mel be gone.
Yeah, but so basically the end of the movie here is them struggling in this mausoleum. You know, trying to, and she's doing her darndest to, with a special magical dagger, to, you know, try to kill them, but you know, it's impossible really to kill them with this. But you know, she's jabbing Radu I don't know how many times, and I'm trying to think again. What did she do to Mummy to make her? I think she just staked her, and she spun off. And fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Took the torch to her, and she was on fire and spun out and exited. And that was the ending up until that point. But she's stabbing with the magical dagger to kill Radu, which...
ain't gonna work.
We think at the end of it that everything's okay.
Where Michelle and Megan are heading towards the exit, but then the sun's coming up.
Yeah.
And Michelle can't go out there. So Megan goes out, says, I'm going to wait for you. When the sun goes down, we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, but then all of a sudden, man, she backs up a little bit, and then there's Mummy grabs her, pulls her back into the tunnels.
And it cuts to black.
Yep.
Right there. And it's like, that's it, man. Cliffhanger, totally. I haven't seen too many of these horror movies, do it that abruptly like that. I mean, here and there, but this was just cut to black. With her after her grabbing it. It was really awesome. Right. It was like the perfect length too. And now I'm anticipating part 3.
And there was always the video zones at the end of the tapes, and. And you certainly knew that they were making the next one. Like, hey, we're making it back to back. It'll be out in like 6-7 months. And, so you knew it was coming. But I mean, those 3. I mean, 4 does pick up the story a bit, but the story's not as interesting to me. And I think you can kind of take it or leave it. But did you see Vampire Journals? Did you watch that?
No. You told me to watch. Yeah, that
should be watched after.
Yeah,
because
that's what I'll do.
One of the characters in Vampire Journals is in part 4, and that's the connection. That's the only connection.
Okay. No, I will definitely jump to that after the Subspecies.
That's more of an Anne Rice one. You'll be reminded much more of like the Anne Rice vampires with that one.
So I can't wait, man. That's going to be cool. I dug this. From the very first movie, I really dug Radu as a vampire. The storyline. Charles Band usually never fails us.
With those,
or Ted Nicolau.
I mean, Full Moon just isn't what it is anymore. It's not
that late 80s,
but that period,
90s.
They were great.
They were at the peak of their,
And those were the best ones. I mean, a lot of people like Pit and the Pendulum. I don't care for it as much just because I just don't get off on people being tortured. Even if it is a good movie, I just don't really get off on it. There usually has to be some sort of supernatural element for me to really enjoy it. So these were right up my alley, and I just loved them.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, that's a quick kind of, synopsis of
loving on Subspecies 2.
Yeah, a little bit of love for Subspecies 2 there.
Oh, and really good music recommend you to.
What's that?
Just want to say the music in it was really good.
Oh, yeah. Again, I mean, I loved everything about this, especially Michelle. Anyway.
She's still very beautiful, though.
Yes, she is. And let us know in the comments definitely what you think of the new format. If you want us to go back to commentaries, let us know. But I'm liking this style, and again, we'll throw something out. There's not a whole lot of news going on right now, but
a couple of interesting Blu-ray releases. For some of our
up Ted's
Hammer fans. I mentioned last week Plague of Zombies will be coming out from Shout Factory, and it was just announced today that finally the original Hammer Horror of Dracula, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, with the extra footage from Japan of the gorier ending. Don't expect too much, but it's just a few more seconds. But that'll be finally released by Warner Archives.
But Hammer fans wanted it, so good.
And that has been a long time coming. I imported it not that long ago, and figures that now it gets announced. But I bought the British version, which has extras and lots of other stuff and interviews. And if I don't know if the picture quality will be any different, but I'll keep you up to date, I guess. But if you're a fan of those films and a collector, which you should be, because if Netflix goes down and all these other streaming services go down, you can't watch no movies. So you should own them.
Yeah, because we got a lot of these studios coming out with video on demand too soon.
That's right.
So
if you
see
like
what's
just
going on.
not owning anything, then go right ahead. But I choose to own mine. I can watch them whenever. Yeah. But anyway, that's a little bit of news. That'll be coming out, and that's been a long time coming. People have been wanting that film for a long time. It's
You've been talking about it for years.
Yes.
I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm sick of hearing
it's one of the reasons why I bought a region-free Blu-ray player. It was one of the first things I bought.
Right.
And I bought one pretty recently. Yeah. And go figure, that now it gets announced. We still need Curse of Frankenstein, the original one. Yeah. It desperately needs restoring, so hopefully when it does come out, it'll be beautiful.
Well, what's the other one coming out? Is that it?
Well, Dracula Prince of Darkness will be...
I thought you said there were two that were definitely...
I said Plague of the Zombies, but I mentioned that last week.
Gotcha.
So two really good... Yeah. There'll be 3 really good Hammer films coming out by the beginning of the year. We'll have Dracula, Prince of Darkness, Horror of Dracula, and Plague of the Zombies all coming out here on Region a Blu-ray, and I
Cool.
think you should all support the studios and buy them, because if you do, then they'll put out more.
Cool. Well, speaking of, support us.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe if you're watching for the first time. Make sure you share. All the links are down below to our Facebook, iTunes, all that stuff, our podcast and everything. So yeah, with that said, man, we're going to be out.
Okay.
So thanks for joining us again.
Right.
Always keep up on the Late Late Horror Show
Right.
Facebook page.
And a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody there, Yeah, it's the weekend here coming up. So yeah, with that said, Late Late Horror Show. Peace out.